Welcome, my name is Kieran Haslam, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer and the host of this episode 4 in the Princess Experience. So we're bringing you this series to go behind the scenes at Princess. In a world of limitations at the moment due to a global pandemic, obviously we can't spend too much time with you in person in and around boat shows, and so this series is designed to explore the people, the products, the history, and look at the future of Princess. In this episode, we're going to cast the spotlight on the extraordinary S78, an absolute stunning product, one of my favourites in our lineup, and we're going to join Ross and Gareth on board to explore that boat in full detail. Additionally, we're going to be talking to Pininfarina, arguably one of the most powerful styling houses in the world today, and we'll also have our regular Q&A session at the end of this episode. Now, as always, throughout this entire series, we want to hear from you. So if you would like to write into us, ask us some questions or topics that you would like us to explore in future episodes, please do so. The details are on screen now. At the end of this episode, we will host an exclusive webinar. To participate in that webinar, the details are in the description and on screen now. So it's over to Ross Gill in Newport Street aboard the S78 to start our journey.
So here we are on the bathing platform, the S78, and as you can see, we're on the up-down platform, so hydraulic for launching your jet ski or your tender. This boat also has the indicated garage door, so the garage door lifts up and then your tender can slide in there. It will take up to 4.45 metres, or a Williams 445, should you like those. Entrance to the crew cabin is on the opposite side, so you have two opening sections. Crew cabin in there, you've got a twin cabin, separate shower installed in there. There's also entrance to your engine room. That's the main way through to it. Back end of the boat is really beautifully designed. We've got these lovely curvatures of teak, touching on with the painted surfaces, and then a really good chunky stainless steel. When you walk up here, it gives you a great purchase, but it just feels quality. Central staircase, integrated passenger rail, and then the bottom step is where we hide all those power cables and other TV cables that you might need. So coming up onto the aft deck, you really get an appreciation of the size of it. This area is currently got no seating in it. The owner's chosen to do away with it, and I quite like it actually. It gives you lots of space, but you can have another seat. It's modular, same as on the other side, and gives you option to have a bit more choice. Staircase up to the flybridge, nice design feature out the stainless steel handrails, nice teak steps. And then over to your eating area, outside eating area. Up-down table, this actually unfolds as well as pivots in. Seats move in and out, and also the seat over there comes over, so it can be a really big C-shaped seating area. Integrated third helm station to give you a nice view up the side decks, and they are big wide side decks, obviously on either side, up to that foredeck area. Coming into that view into your saloon now. Equally good looking forward as it is out onto this amazing aft deck. So moving into the galley and dinette area, aft facing, so you really are involved with all those people on the aft deck. Big sub-zero fridge, as we have on all boats over 80 feet now. Freezer units underneath there. Should you want to, you've got a really nice integrated Melia wine cooler there. Dishwasher, oven, cooktop, and then all your appliances all storage up forward. What's quite nice on here is it hides it all beautifully out of the way. Choice of stones or quartzes on this boat, and behind, up against the window, a few drop lockers under and some more above your head height. This boat also has the sliding partition, so you can give yourself a bit of break from the saloon area into the galley by sliding that across. Dinette, nice light airy dining room table, so it doesn't impact on this space. This is a fixed one, but you can have this, so you can slide it right back out the way if need be. Coming up forward into the saloon, you really notice these big windows. They're actually curved, so they're curved in two directions. So you've got the curve down the side and curved lengthways. Big seats, really big. I mean, I'll take a seat on it just to give you an impression. I know I'm not a big chap, but you can really see the size of the windows and the whole area of rim. Lovely style coffee table, slightly off-centre carpet to, again, reflect that styling we're going on the whole boat, whether it's on the aft deck or here in the saloon, as well as that lovely two-seater. TV behind that pops up should you want to, and then a nice wet bar under here which has a drinks fridge and ice maker. Electric blinds drop down to give you the privacy at night, and then you come up into the helm and this rather nice seating area. So helm is integrated glass bridge, 2 screens, and then your engine instruments in front of you. Really good spot up here. Fully adjustable seats, armrests, pop out doors, so again you can gain access to the foredeck or the guy's back, and everything once you've slid the chair forward is within easy arm reach. Above me is the opening section, so as on all S and V boats, this whole roof slides back to let lots of fresh air and light into it. And on the opposite side, we have one of our key features of these boats is a nice seating area. And when you're sat here with your drop window, you've got this beautiful view back of the aft deck, the saloon. I really appreciate how big this boat is.
Thank you very much to Ross. Now, an extraordinary individual in Princess who joined as an apprentice and finds himself currently as the Manufacturing Engineering Director, James Smale, is going to explain the vertical complexity and integration at Princess.
Vertical integration at Princess Yachts is all about taking something from a raw material to a finished product. Our kit parts area, where we build all our furniture, is probably our most transparent example of that. We have raw material coming into the machine shop and then straight into a bench environment where all of the furniture is assembled, to the final paint stage where we are applying the colours and the lacquers, to the final finessing of those items. And we're producing sort of 500 of these items every week, so it's on a significant scale. And then when you upscale that further, our major moulds facilities, again, built from inputs of raw material fiberglass and resins, and then we are crafting them to create what ultimately becomes a finished boat at the end. The fundamental benefits of having that level of control and being able to do everything in-house is that we are able to influence and change our product very quickly. We can have some feedback from a boat show or from a series of customers that an item needs to change, or if we want to facelift a boat, we have the ability all internally to cut and program those changes immediately. The true value in vertical integration for a prospective customer is the fact that they can see how their dream can be taken from a design on a piece of paper and see how that is influenced within our own business. They're buying a true Princess, from design right through to their finished product. They can have confidence that the quality is embedded from the first wire in a loom harness to a complete, beautiful master stateroom. It's had that Princess touch from beginning right to the end.
Thank you very much to James. James is going to join us at the end of this episode for the exclusive webinar, and if you would like to register for that, the details are in a link in the video description. And now we're going to cut back to the S78 to join up with Ross Gill once again.
So here we are in the master cabin of the S78. Really nicely designed cabin with lots of features. These beautiful integrated lights. These are touch sensitive, so you can dim them or turn them on and off just by a touch. That nice feature bulkhead. And then what this client has gone for on this boat is an integrated storage unit, so plenty of drawers and cupboards, or you can have a settee of there should you want to. Back across obviously the full-size master bed, storage under there as well, so big pull-out drawers. And then moving aft, you go into your full beam ensuite. Lovely shower on the far side with a rain head on the top, coming back into his and her sinks. Wardrobe spaces, so you've got a lovely mirrored door, full height wardrobe there, and then on the outboard side you have a half height with drawer storage underneath that. And then moving forward we have the vanity unit, so good storage either side, cupboards, your choice of chair, so that comes in a variety of options for you. Integrated nice little vanity mirror with knick-knack storage underneath there, and of course those Big Brother windows. You know, imagine we're not in Stonehouse Creek in Plymouth, but we're at your favourite anchorage. So waking up in the morning, electric blinds should you want to lift up, and then letting those big views come out. And then coming forward, we have a nice 40-inch TV integrated into this Macassar ebony satin finish unit, and then to your private foyer. So separate staircase coming down, washer, dry units there should you want to, or combined, plus plenty of more storage. And then, like I said, take it up your own staircase, and then we'll go and have a look at the forward accommodation. So coming down into the guest accommodation, and this really is their separate area. You know, the owner's got his own staircase down. Here we are in the 3 double cabins dedicated to guests. Starboard side, we have the queen cabin. Full-size double bed in here. You can have this as twins if you want to. Big knife window on the outside there to let the light in, and good headroom. You know, I'm not tall, but there's plenty of room above my head. We have obviously a wardrobe, vanity unit, TV in here, as well as, if I close this door, you've got a Jack and Jill door, so the day head becomes the ensuite to this cabin, should you want to. Shower, outboard, so again, that window passes all the way through. Moving on out, we go across the corridor into the twin cabin. This can have the option of a slide together bunks, should you want to. This actually comes with just the standard fixed ones, but as you can see, I'm in the lowest part of the boat, but I've got plenty of head height above me. Big window, lots of storage. TV goes on the outside of the wardrobe, and then forward you have your ensuite, which has big windows, shower, everything you need. Going forward, more storage underneath here, so great space to pop those all the luggage that your guests bring with them. And up forward into the forward VIP. So this is your main guest cabin, as it were. Big windows, lots of views out onto the sea there. As always, overhead lockers, wardrobe, vanity units, lots of real nice lighting features, and of course your ensuite behind here. I hope you agree that the S78 is a really strong boat. You know, having that separate access to your guests area, having the nice private access to the master cabin to give you that privacy, really is a bonus, and hopefully sets us apart from the other boats.
And now, it's affectionately known as Kit Parts. To us, it's actually where all of the furniture at Princess is designed and built, and Bill Barrow is going to take us to explore that area of our manufacturing.
Welcome to Coypool. Coypool is our feeder factory for all our components going to our 6 other manufacturing sites based around Plymouth. It's a fantastic site. We've had it for over 25 years now. It gives us the ability to control in terms of quality, in terms of time, and also be bespoke to a customer in all of our product range. It really sets us apart from any other manufacturer in the industry. Now today we are going to be looking at furniture. A little noisy where we're going to go, need to protect ourselves. Let's go and have a look.
Okay, welcome to Machine Shop. This is where we're converting raw timber into finished, beautiful items ready to go to assembly of furniture units. You'll see behind me, we have a whole range of timber. This timber here is straight from the mill, kiln dried, best quality, either oak or walnut, ready to go straight into saws, spindles, planers to produce the initial stage of manufacture. So from here on, we're going straight to CNC machines. We have 7 CNC machines here. They run about 18 hours a day, and they produce approximately 40,000 pieces of timber to go to our joinery shop every month. If you look at this, this is an aircon grill in walnut, ready to go to a piece of furniture. As you can see, a lot of manufacturers would make this out of numerous pieces and just pin them together. This is made out of one single solid piece of walnut, and every single furniture unit that you see from Princess comes out of these shops. Whether it be a V40 or an X95, everything is from here. This is the board store. So in here we keep all our timber board forms going to be cut in the machine shop. We're right in the heart of the machine shop here. We've got 7 double-bedded CNC machines cutting out all the board form materials for our whole range of boats. Here we produce in 10 hours around about 100 sheets of material. But just if we have a look at this board here, this is literally just popped out of the CNC machine. Everything is cut perfectly to size. We've also got all the mortise and tenon joints. So it's all ready for joinery to actually slot together. Little tiny piece of timber like this, cut for one person. So this is one retail sale boat. If we have a look over here, there's a raw piece of timber. So that has been cut over here on the CNCs, cut to shape. But we now have a raw edge to deal with. This machine here basically takes the piece of timber. As it runs down through, it puts the edging onto the material. The end result is something like this. And that is now ready to go to the bench joiner to be fitted into a unit. Okay, so here we are in the RF shop. We've all been on a Princess at some stage in our time. And there are some amazing shapes when you've looked at joinery and if you look at those fantastic shape cappings that you get all the way through. A lot of people ask how we do it. In here, basically, we shape timber through lamination. We use thin laminates of walnut or oak, almost paper-like. These are glued together into a format before going into a mold and going into a press. But here, you can see the shape, glued up, engineering in wood. You can almost do anything with it. Any detailed shape can be made up. It really sets us apart from many other manufacturers. So these are double-bedded RF machines. Basically, there's a mold inside. Your glued laminate goes into the mold presses it to shape, and then pushes it into the oven. Actually, you cook it off for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and the end result, this is a much bigger piece, again in oak. But you can see here, all the veneers, all glued together. This will now go to a spindle molder and will be cut to shape to produce a perfect shaped piece of timber to go into a joinery unit. We've seen loads and loads of componentry in the form of board form, but not a lot of hardwood. And we saw hardwood when we first came in, being machined, planed, going through a spindle molder. That timber is now being put together into kits, so hardwood kits. So if you look at all this timber all the way through, you'll see there's hardwood kits made up in oak, made up in walnut, again for a particular slot. So this is made for one particular boat. This hardwood kit will be for one particular furniture unit. So these racks will take all the components for one piece of furniture. Once it's cooled off, it'll all go from here on a trolley straight to the bench joiners. And bench joiners will then assemble it into a unit. Kit parts is basically joinery. So we have 120 joinery benches and we are producing around about 110 different furniture units every day. And that ranges from a small unit that might be a top locker unit in a V40 to a major unit that's going to go into something like an X95. So what are you doing today? What are you doing?
I'm currently working on the dining table.
Yep.
This dining table features on the X95.
And you've got a real combination of materials because you've got the timber top and then obviously this has come out of the moulding shop.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So we are working with all kinds of materials these days. So you can see we've got the fiberglass. So now I'll fit this into the actual top. This is upholstered.
Yeah.
We've got various upholstered panels.
That's a fantastic unit. That looks like it's out of a Y78. Is it
Yes,
from a
I believe
Y78?
you're right. Yeah, that's the stateroom sideboard unit.
The great thing is whether you buy our smallest range or our largest range,
Yeah.
the quality
is
still
exactly the same. We use exactly the same materials, exactly the same fittings, exactly the same furnishings. It goes through exactly the same paint process. So it doesn't matter whether you're buying the smallest Princess or the largest. The standard of furniture throughout is consistent all the way through.
At this stage, we've actually applied the first coat of lacquer. So we've painted the units for the first time all the way through. But with any spray work, it's very easy to get minor imperfections. You might get a ripple, you might get some dust in the finish, just that final detail. Princess is known for really, really high gloss, fantastic state-of-the-art type finishes. And in here, we're working on getting that finish absolutely perfect. So a unit like this over here has been painted already. You can see the lacquer on the masking, you can see all the masking in place where it's been lacquered down. But obviously, after its first initial paint, you can see minor imperfections in the finish. And this here should look absolutely like a mirror. So in here, these guys here are rubbing it back, preparing it, ready to go to the paint shop for its next set of lacquer finish. We put approximately 8 coats of lacquer onto each individual piece of gloss furniture. That's to give you the very best high gloss finish for every single part of the interior of the boat. Here we're really beginning to look like finished parts. This has been through the spray shops, joinery shops. It's nearly ready to go line side. It's nearly ready to go out to the boat for assembly, be fitted into the galley unit. This area here is wrapping and packing. So we have finished units that have been machined, built, sprayed, taken to that absolute finite quality. They need to be protected, they need to be wrapped prior to travelling by truck to one of our facilities around Plymouth. And bear in mind there are 7 different facilities. So, you know, it's got to go from here as being perfect to the retail customer as being perfect with a build stage in between. Hence, so much care has been put into this. Here we have ultimate control over finish, design, and the final product that reaches the customer. There are very few other manufacturers that go to this sort of length. Yes, we all produce fantastic yachts today. You can't be a manufacturer today without producing a fantastic yacht. But very few people do it in the way that Princess does it.
Now, once again, we're going to explore the flybridge and the engine room. So we've got not just Ross, but also Gareth, who's going to take us through the S78.
So here you find us on the flybridge of the S78 outside Shed 10 here at Newport Street. So if you hear some background noise, that's because where the S78 and indeed the Y78 behind us are built. Now, as in one of our platform boats, the Y and the S really differ from the main deck upwards. On the flybridge here, you can see the Y has a huge flybridge behind us, but we don't really lose an awful lot on the S. We still have a fully integrated wet bar, which has the barbecue sink. This boat has got an ice maker fitted here, and then the drop-in cool box behind us. Behind me, the stairs up from that huge aft deck, and then down onto the Ronda settee. Very different, not that integrated GRP seating we do on a lot of boats. This is a bit more styled, deep seating. And as you drop down, you get out of the wind, and it also creates a bit more privacy because you have the Comans raised up either side of you. And then moving forward, good size, nice beam on this boat, past the twin helm seats or navigator seat and helm seat, forward to what I think is a really nicely designed helm. Twin navigation screens. This client has gone for a Zenta joystick control. It is a shaft boat, but you can still have that joystick control should you want to. Your thrusters here on the outside of the wheel, and just a nicely well designed. Lots of nice design features. You've got the integrated lighting there behind the screen, and of course this will drop down into the helm to keep it protected from the weather. Hydraulic bimini. This pops up over the top. This can be manual or hydraulic. It's quite a big unit. So it's quite impressive when you see that come up and over. Looking up forward, we've got the foredeck seating. Nice sunbathing up there, nice wing lockers on either side. You can see underneath the teak, but a real nice place to be able to talk to your guests and then obviously back to you. Beside me here, you've got the day seats. So these can have infills underneath that pop out to turn them into nice day beds, get you out of the wind, and so you can have a good conversation with the person driving. And then behind me, you might be able to notice the keen-eyed Princess fans is where we actually started. That's the shed where the Project 31 was built. And you might have seen it at recent boat shows, our Charlotte, which we've restored to her former glory.
So here we are in the engine room of the Princess S78, and as you can see, for such a sleek performance cruiser, you've still got plenty of headroom down here on the lower deck and in the engineering space. I'm 5'11" and there's plenty to spare for headroom. On the port and starboard sides here are the 1900 variant V12 MAN diesel engines, and they deliver a great performance on the S78, anywhere between 36 and 39 knots depending on the level of specification you go for on this model. Underneath my feet here you've got the start batteries for the engines, which are easily to hand for checks and maintenance, and then just forward of there you have the sea cocks and sea strainers for the cooling water for the engines as well, which again are easy to get to for servicing and daily checking. On the forward bulkhead here you've got all of your electronic distribution behind these panel doors. DC on the starboard side, AC on the port side. Again, really great that you can get to them with ease down the centre line here in the engine room. Outboard of the engines, we've got 2 diesel fuel tanks, and they give a total fuel capacity of 6,000 litres. As we move aft, under the sole here, this tread plate moves up quite easily, and you've got access to even more sea cocks and strainers, which are servicing cooling for things like your optional Seakeeper stabiliser, your water maker, and your hydraulic systems running bow thruster, stern thruster, windlasses, etc. You've got a secondary access here up this ladder, so you can come down from the cockpit floor if you need to through quite a large hatch here. It's about 500mm across, which is great for when you're checking the engine room underway. It's a much safer way to get into the engine room when the boat's underway at sea. And it's really good for those refit periods when you're having a lot of maintenance done in the engine room and the boat's not in service with its owner or guests. As we move aft, here on the port side, just aft of the engine room, you can see right here you've got the garage. Mounted on the side of the garage housing here, you've got battery charger 2 and battery charger 1 to service all of your DC systems on board. On the forward bulkhead there's also an inverter, which we've included on the S78 model to support the audio system, so you have no interruptions when you're trying to play music on board, and it also helps to protect the equipment should you have any issues with shore power. On the centre line here behind the walkway between the engines we've got the optional gyro stabiliser, which is a Seakeeper 18 on this model, and it's fantastic when the boat's at anchor, makes the boat a lot more comfortable should you have any residual swell and can't get to that perfect anchorage because it's too busy filled up with other boats for the day. We've put a little bench across the top here, which is great for placing your tools on, parts, and just general maintenance and servicing when those times come into play. And then as we move aft further down here on the starboard side, I've got the air conditioning system here just outboard of the walkway, and then underneath is all your domestic batteries which supply 24 DC throughout the boat for all of your house systems. Underneath the sole we've purposely put some access hatches in here, which are conveniently located over everything you might need access to. Things like the shaft seal, the inlet seacock for the aircon raw water, and the aircon sea strainer itself. I'm now passing through the engine room door, which connects the engine room to the crew cabin. And as you can see, it's a really substantial door, watertight, great soundproofing between this compartment and the engine room, with a visual aid in the window here. So you can look in the engine room, make your checks, and if you don't need to go in for any reason, there's no need to. Over here on the starboard side, you've got a good sized galley for this compartment. You've got a great counter space here with a fridge underneath, and then above you've got the convection microwave with storage above as well. So plenty of facilities for the crew to make a meal, have a snack, whatever it is they need to do while they're down here. You've got a full height hanging locker here also, just aft of the galley space, with the AV system, should you choose to have it on this boat, mounted in the top there for easy operation for the crew. Inboard, you've got the 2 crew berths here. They're really good size, plenty of space between the 2, so there's not really a favoured bunk. They're both about the same. They've got independent reading lights as well, should one crew want to read a book in the evening and the other get some rest. And underneath the lower berth, you've also got 3 cubbies for storage and another large storage locker after the berths before the transom door out onto the bathing platform as well. This particular owner's also gone for the 24-inch TV, which again just makes it a little bit more comfortable for the crew and gives them something to entertain them when they're down here resting after a long day out on the water. But my favourite thing about this crew area on the S78 is the size of the heads compartment. It's a really good size, fantastic headroom, just like here in the cabin, with a separate shower stall. So you can go in the shower and use the shower without getting the entire bathroom soaking wet. And then you've got a really good size vanity sink and head as well. So as we move aft from the bathroom and the berths here, you've got 3 really good sized steps up to the transom door, which pantographs open to the starboard side and leads you out onto the bathing platform of the S78. What's a really nice feature also with that door closed is this port light here. So on the inboard bulkhead, you've got an opening port light to give you natural ventilation down here for the crew. So in summary, the Princess S78 is a really great option for anybody looking for a sleek and high performance cruiser with the ability to accommodate 2 crew members comfortably down here for extended cruising should you need that extra help and want to spend more time enjoying the boat.
The S78 really is all about that main deck. You know, that main deck when it runs into a huge aft deck, the inside-outside living, the ability to have different areas where you can converse with your friends and family, get away, maybe read a book for a bit, but also have a great time partying. I hope you agree that it is a truly spectacular boat. If you'd like any more details on this boat, please get in contact with your local dealer and they'll be delighted to help you. We will be later going into a bit more details in our webinar, so if you've got any questions, please do feel free to contact us and we'll do our best to answer them for you. Thanks very much.
And now I'm joined by Chief Sales Officer Will Green. Once again, Will, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. The S78. Now, Will, you're a pretty serious boater, and that boat is a pretty serious boat. In terms of how you use the boat, it's a totally different experience, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the S78 is the pinnacle of the sports class.
Yeah.
When you walk from the transom platform up that central companionway onto the cockpit, there's nothing quite like the S78. Twin sun pads, and then there's this huge cockpit, the forward end underneath the canopy from the flybridge deck.
Yeah.
And the furniture is configurable. So we've got different deck fixings where there are 3 L-shaped seats, that 2 of which can be moved to make a really large sort of U-shaped seating area around a dining table. They can be moved aft, so the 2 aftermost seats sit alongside the sun pads to create a sort of big party deck. And the impression that it gives, you know, when customers first go on that boat, they walk to the top of those aft stairs and go, wow,
Yeah.
it's an outdoor boat for you know, for fun on board, for partying, for the family.
Yeah. And it is really like the first party boat. We had the new sound system on it with, you know, you could have simultaneously 9 independent zones. You know, at the press of a button, you could just convert it into everyone listening to the same tunes at the same time. And it's all that kind of usability, which is really interesting. The actual aesthetic of it, we did something quite different with the S78, didn't we? I mean, it was, we're so accustomed to working in collaboration with Olszynski, and we brought in another design partner and really elevated and looked at exterior spaces in a different way. Again, from your impressions of that step, it seemed like quite a step up for us. How does that talk to the viewers a little bit about that and that journey?
I think the concept behind a Princess is that, first of all, it's an incredible sea boat. You know, our seakeeping, the way the boat performs at sea, the fact that you can passage make, that's what Princess is all about. Plus the intelligent use of space. And Olszynski and Princess have a relationship that's decades old, where we've really refined that process.
Yeah.
The introduction of Pininfarina into the equation has really sort of supercharged what's already a successful recipe. And it was challenging at times, particularly to start with. because you've got a design DNA there that is potentially dangerous to mess with.
Yeah.
The way that relationship has evolved, we consider ourselves to be very lucky because you've got two superpower design houses.
Yeah.
Olezinski, which is one of the most respected names in naval architecture, in design in the marine industry. And then you've got Pininfarina, which needs no introduction, it speaks for itself. And actually, we've got this sort of triumvirate of Princess, Olezinski and Pininfarina working together, critiquing each other's work in a collaborative way, which it might have been quite challenging to think that would be possible.
Yeah.
But we're working together in a really positive way, with different parties coming up with different concepts, and then us all critiquing the ideas to come up with the sort of the ultimate combination of all the best ideas.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost licensed to push and push each other. And the S78 paved the way for so many other boats after it now that are in our product range currently. In terms of that Pininfarina offering, for you, do you have a favourite element of what they've brought to the whole process? Is there something that really stands out for you where you sort of go, I'm really proud that we're able to see that evolve? My perception is that the surfacing is the resolution of surfaces is their speciality, and I was always quite proud of the job we did with Olezinski in terms of the facets introduced on mouldings and the detail in moulded surfaces. But certainly, Pininfarina have helped us move on to the next level. Yeah. Will, thank you very much. You're going to join me for the exclusive webinar straight after this episode, and we're going to talk to our viewers in more detail about the S78. Thank you very much for joining us as well. Pleasure. Now, we're going to take a look at the design story at Pininfarina, and we're going to shortly join Daniele in Turin to have a conversation about the S78. So now, I'm really, really delighted that we're going to have a conversation with Daniele Mazzon at Pininfarina in Turin. Daniele, hello and thank you for being with us.
Hello, Kieran. I'm Daniele Mazzon, the Chief Transportation and Nautical Designer, and here in Turin, the headquarters of Pininfarina.
You specifically joined us when we were on the journey to develop the all-new S78 some years ago now. Let's talk a little bit about that, and from your perspective, take the viewers actually through that journey.
Yeah, the goal was to create the dynamic line, but and the timeless feeling, but is the proper of the S-class of Princess Yachts. So we started to change the volumes on the line, and we redefine all the characters of the boat.
And I remember having a conversation with you when we were talking about the specifics of how something as simple as a line can really change the dynamics and the feeling of weight or the feeling of speed. That's the philosophy of Pininfarina, isn't it? So
yeah, we try every time in every project to give that key line in order to make a really iconic object, a really iconic project.
And Daniele, take us for a moment into your home in Turin, the home of Pininfarina. So what are some of the interesting projects and experiences that you guys have had that you felt you've worked on that you've brought to the table alongside Olezinski and Princess?
Yeah, in the 95 years, Pininfarina developed a lot of product architecture, automotive, and also both. Our team is like 15 designers. We create a kind of collaboration, a cross-fertilization of idea between each others. We develop a bicycle or a boat or train, airplane, all the transportation, and working with different approach and different sector every day. And so all that project in parallel, we choose and we change the different the skills and the ideas on each project in order to give always unconventional approach in each sector.
Okay, so Daniele, what about the future? We've accomplished a lot together in the last couple of years. We've been talking a lot about the S78 in this episode. There were so many other things that I know you're working on, and what about the future in our collaboration?
For us, for Pininfarina, it's really important the collaboration with Princess, because our focus on the marine sector is really important. One of the pillars of Pininfarina is innovation. So we always propose something new in terms of material, in terms of manufacturing, and that also give a value of the project, give a value of a product in the end of the production. So sure, when we have a collaboration with a long-term collaboration like what we have now with Princess, we try to improve in every project the manufacturing, the relationship between our studio, the production, also the supplier. But every time we have that goal to develop something new, something more technological, more innovative, in order to remain always on the top level of the style of the product.
And Daniele, we'll leave it there. The future is really bright, and there's lots of other things that we're working on together. The relationship continues, and long may it continue. Thank you very much for being with us for this episode, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, all the best.
So that's the end of this episode. We're shortly going to jump into our webinar, so we look forward to seeing you in there. But for now, it's goodbye, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Princess Experience.